Napa know-how. A Napa guy knows that by the foot, there's no better ride than an old station wagon. Room for 6 people facing forward, 2 people facing backward, and a whole lot of luggage, lumber, and bicycles haphazardly strapped to the roof. If you can parallel park that beast, you can park anything. And with some quality parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep your land ship running longer, stronger. It's not obsolete. It's a rare treasure. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Blog Talk Radio.
Those who dare to travel in the spaces between the lines. This is Shadow Travels with your hosts, Kevin Cook and Ray Cezone.
Well, we are finally back after a 2-month absence, and we have our intro music back, which is great. So welcome back, Ray.
Yes, Kevin, it's good to be back. It's good to be back talking with, we have some great guests lined up again, and, just to hear that music, it felt good again.
Yes, absolutely. And we're kicking it off tonight in a really big way, a really good way. We have JackKenna, who's going to be joining us in about 5 minutes, and he's got a long list of things that he's involved in, so we'll wait to even talk about that until he gets on with us, but definitely very knowledgeable and somebody who has been around in this field. So over the last 2 months, Ray, we've been busy. I mean, obviously not doing the radio show, but we have been busy as a team, wouldn't you say?
That's right. Absolutely. We have a lot of great things coming up too, and that's all been part of the work we've been involved with these last couple of months.
Yep, absolutely. And we should be able to bring you guys some, just some fantastic guests, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So we've been making a lot of good connections, doing a lot of good networking, putting together a huge event, which we'll talk about with Jack, because he's going to be at that event as well. That'll be coming up in August here in Syracuse. So before Jack gets on, of course, I want to tell anybody that's listening, please feel free to call in with comments or questions for myself, for Ray, for Jack. You can call in at area code 518-330-0277, and we can take your questions that way. You can also log on to the Shadow Travels Facebook page, and Ray will be monitoring that, and you can post your questions there for, again, any of the 3 of us, but obviously especially Jack. And we are definitely looking forward to getting back into this. I think it was a nice break. It was a busy break, but we did a lot of stuff, a lot of investigations, and we're really kind of picking up on some private residence investigations as well lately. And I don't know, Ray, would you agree that it's kind of, I don't know, I guess the quality of the investigations have increased lately?
Absolutely. I think, we've, as a group, as a paranormal group, people have noticed us. They've recognized our professionalism and, just the approach that we take with what we do. And that's really helped. And of course, all of this networking, it's really helped get the word out there. And absolutely the quality of investigations, the quality of locations, even private residents have really been incredible, incredible response.
Yeah, I would absolutely
And I wanted
agree.
to add, too, Kevin, just for any new listeners out there before we jump in with Jack, just wanted to really quick introduce who we are for anybody who might not have listened to a show in the past. We are Syracuse Paranormal. Kevin is the founder, actually, and the lead investigator with Syracuse Paranormal. I'm one of the few additional investigators we have. I'm also the medium with the group. And, we've been very fortunate. We all have backgrounds one way or another in education, all work professional jobs, and we've been very fortunate in coming together and really being able to, find the locations that we do and find the evidence that we do.
Yeah, for sure. It's not as easy as people think, I guess, is the best way to put it, but it is definitely as fun as they think. I see that Jack has called in, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce him right now. Jack is the founder, or the team member at least, of Spirits of New England, also of San Diego Ghost Hunters, also of the Extreme Paranormal Encounter Response Team. He is a writer. He contributes to Paranormal Underground magazine, and this I really want to find out about. He's also a comic book author, or should I say, probably co-author. And not just that, but he's also on Paranormal Survivor quite frequently, and as well as kind of taking the lead on the show Haunted Case Files, both on Destination America. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on right now.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Hi, Jack. How are you?
How you doing?
Jack, hello.
Good.
How are you?
How you doing? Hey, Ray.
Good.
Good.
Thanks
How
for
you guys
joining
doing
us.
today?
Excellent. Excellent.
Good to join you.
You
Good
could
to
call
join
in
you.
tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's very happy to. Thanks for asking me.
Hope I covered everything on your long list, your resume there.
Yeah. I got a good long one. Yeah, I'm not the founder. Ellen McNeil is the founder of our Spirits of New England team. Maritza Scandunas is the founder of San Diego Ghost Hunters, and Stacy Horton is one of the founders of Extreme Paranormal. Yeah, I'm on a lot of teams. I didn't start any though, but.
Yeah.
I keep getting kind of like adopted by everybody. It's like, well, we want to start this here, you know. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever, you know. It's all good.
I did want to ask you, Jack, because I found this interesting, and I don't know why I didn't pick up on it when I know we've spoken a couple of times before. The San Diego Ghost Hunters, we actually had, is that Nicole Strickland's team? Is that name ring a bell to you?
She can't do this. No,
okay.
No, I don't know her. Maritza is the of the San Diego Ghost Hunters, the one I know.
Right.
Is Maritza Scandunas. Now I don't know if she was on their team at one time. I really don't know because I've been officially on the team for a couple of years, but I've known them a lot longer than that. And I go out there to visit every so often. I get a chance to go out and visit and hang out. And they finally said, "Look, you hang out with us. We're going to make you a member of the team." I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, they're just good friends. They're really good friends of mine, and we've done a lot of different stuff together. And it's always a blast hanging out with them out there. Yeah.
I got to imagine investigating in San Diego isn't really all that bad, is it, Jack?
No, it's not. I got to admit, you know, it's better than these New England weather we get out this way. I'll tell you that. You know, worst it does is rain on you out there. You know, it's
yeah, right.
That's about it. And you're investigating at night, so even though it's warm during the day, it's cool at night. So you know, it's good. It's all good. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's not bad out there. It's not bad out there, that's for sure. So.
Great. I know that you were just on the show last night, and you kind of been in demand for the show. So I don't want to hit you with too many repetitive questions here that you probably answered 1,000 times already. But I think a good place a good place to start is a beginning, right? So
that's right.
I know a little bit about this, but if you could kind of tell everybody that may be listening tonight, how did you begin? Because I know this actually goes really way back to when you were younger, when you were at a very young age, actually.
Yeah, it does. It goes all the way back to when I was just a young kid and like 5, 6 years old, and I've had experiences. Nothing ever bad, though. I've never had any bad experiences, but as far as when I was a kid, growing up in the home I'm still in. I still live in the home I grew up in. But I would hear somebody loud and clear call my name, and it sounded always like my mother, okay? And I'd go looking for her and go, "Mom, what do you want?" Now, this is like at 5 or 6 years old, and she goes, "I didn't call you. What are you talking about?" "No, you called me. I heard you." You know, and it might sound like just the next room over or something like that, but and it turned out many years later, I went to an event and had a reading with a psychic there, and Becca Boyd is her name. She's a 6th generation psychic medium, and she's helped me. You know, Ray, you're talking about how you're a medium on your team. I've turned out to be the one on mine because of the help from Becca Boyd and stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she was telling me, and she was able to give me a reading and tell me there was this. You had a lot of experiences in your past, and there was this woman you always heard call your name, and I'm like, "Oh my God, how does this woman know this? I've never even met her before tonight." You know, and she's going on about a lot of stuff, but she goes, "That was always your paternal grandmother, your mother's mother." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "What? I never even knew her. She had died long before I was ever even thought of." You know, she goes, mm-hmm. "No, she kind of hangs around you and checks on you and keeps an eye out." So I still, have that happen to this very day. Okay, and
really?
I don't know who it is, and it's usually days I don't get up for work. I'm like, I got to take the day off to hang back with it, and and I'll hear my name. I'll try to go back and say, I'll hear my name loud and clear right in my ear. Call. I'm like, Grandma, don't worry, I'm not getting up to you. I'm not going in. I'm taking the day off, and then it stops. It doesn't happen again, So I was like, okay, she must know. Okay, I didn't know you were not going to go to work today, Okay. So it's funny. So I still got somebody that keeps an eye out for me and stuff, which I think, she probably does when I'm on investigations and other things too. I think that's kind of my guardian angel out there, Now, and maybe she helps me with some of my spirit medium stuff too. I don't know.
Did this kind of come and go as you grew up? Was there a time period where it didn't happen as frequently, or?
Well, yeah. Something interesting is it. As I got old, I got married, had my kids, and had my kids in growing up in the house I grew up in. It started to happen to my son John, and when he was little. Now he doesn't really have anything really happen now, but when he was little, around that age, about 5, 6, 7, he'd hear it, but as my voice, and he'd say, "What do you want, Daddy? Daddy, what do you want?" I'm like, "John, I didn't call you. Why?" Yeah, I knew what was going on. I was like, "Yeah, I heard you call me," and I'm like, and he'd come from another room looking for me, and I'm like, "No, I didn't, but that's okay." I said, "Don't worry about it." I never told him at that age about it. I didn't tell him until many years later. So it kind of switched off of me to him, but I would still get it every once in a while. It never just completely ended. Once in a while I'd get it. So I just knew who was still around, Once I found out who it really was anyway, all those years later. But it's like, it's okay. I knew it was never anything harmful because nothing ever bad happened in the house. So, and I don't even think anybody ever died now. I'm only the actual third owner of my home. So my parents bought it from the gentleman who built it. He was a builder. He built the home for him and his family. And his wife passed away at the local hospital, but she passed away and he decided to sell the house. My parents bought it, and then I took it over from them eventually. So I'm the third owner of the house. It's not it's not that old of a house, 1920s, is when it was built. So there's nothing here that should be terrible or anything like that. But it's just, it's interesting. Yeah. And I guess to answer your question, it slowed down a little bit when I was probably in my 30s, raising my family, and probably because I was more distracted than anything else,
Right, exactly.
So that's it for me. Yeah.
We
that's
actually,
my beginnings. Yeah.
We have a caller already with a question, so I'm going to go ahead and click over to them and see what they have to say. So.
Okay.
How you doing? You're on the air.
Hello, this is Timothy.
Hi, did you have a question for?
Yes, I don't have a question, but I want to share how I got into the paranormal.
Okay. Sure, we'd love to hear it.
Go ahead.
I got into the paranormal when I was like a little kid. And when I was a little kid, I thought I heard some footsteps. Something's watching me. And I was watching this paranormal shows. And I was thinking, why don't I get into the paranormal?
And Tim, are you in it now? Do you do any investigating now?
Yes, I do. My first investigation was at the Hinsdale house.
Oh, very nice. And did you find anything?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yes, I caught some voices.
Oh, and did you do this by yourself?
I think you sent me some of your stuff to look over, if I remember right?
Yes.
Yeah. He did catch a couple really good EVPs from there that he actually sent me. So it was kind of interesting. I'd love to investigate that place myself sometime. As a matter of fact, I've actually been told I am going in September. So, yeah. You guys know Ted Vanson, right? So Ted says, we're doing this, and you're going, by the way. I said, oh, okay. All
right. We were scheduled to go out there in May, and we had the, and we had to reschedule, but we can't wait to go as well. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I
think it will be. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. We're going to switch over now. We got another caller with another question, and actually, this is another one of our team members. This is he's calling in here. So this is Ken LeBlond. Hey, Ken.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
All right, Ken, how you doing tonight?
Hey Jack, how you doing?
All right, hanging in there. I'm on the show. I can't be doing much better. You know, I was really good, right?
So am I. I can't believe they let me on. I feel special.
Yeah. Well, I heard about it. I can't believe they did either. Right?
Yeah, I know. You gotta watch out. I think they should screen their calls sometimes. I love watching Haunted Case Files, and I think it was the episode with you, the Axeman Cometh. Is that right? The one with the sea captain that you were sort of.
the Dean Winthrop house.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool too. I love the guy who plays me because that didn't exactly what happened, but it was okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I didn't have a convulsion on the bed, but it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I know the show kind of generally shows kind of obviously sort of drum things up a little bit. How was the actual experience for you?
It was, it was kind of freaky. It was the first time I ever had that happen, and the last time I've had that happen, and I don't want it to happen again. But
I can see that. It looked pretty freaky.
It wasn't demonic or anything like that. Yeah, the camera shake, the actual footage they showed, I was shaking like that. It felt like, to me, it almost like I had a high fever, and I just couldn't stop shaking. And Sharon was standing there, watched it. She's like, "Are you all right?" I said, "No, I think I know what's going on, though."
The actual footage was really interesting. That's what really grabbed me too. I was like, "Wow, that must have been pretty intense, for something like that to happen."
It was, because I was perfectly fine, and I said the one thing I shouldn't have said. Show me how to communicate with you. Do what you have to. Guys, do what you have to do, and try to. And the only way they know how is to kind of get in you and try to. And you start getting these thoughts that aren't your own. And I had learned again from my friends Becca Boyd and her partner Katie Boyd, who's a demonologist. She goes, this is kind of what to watch for. And if this is happening, this is what you do. So at least I had somebody who had many years of knowledge, two people, many years of knowledge, who had talked to us about this stuff and told me what to watch for and what to do. So I knew what to do the minute it happened. Yeah, so I knew how to protect myself. Once I said what I said, which was, oh no, here it comes, and not being prepared for it, but I just stopped and said, no, that's not what I meant. Stop. And I had just envisioned like a bright light expanding and pushing everything negative or anything away. And that's what I did.
I've done that before, yeah.
Yeah, I just stood there and I did that, and everything calmed right back down. So, but it drains you. It was drained after that, and we didn't really totally leave the place. We just kind of took a break, and then we went back in again after. But for a show, they only have so much time. They only have so much time to tell your story, and they do a great job. I love our house media is a production company. I love them. I love how they do this stuff, and I understand where they're coming from. They got to tell a story. They only have so much time, and that's okay. And but what you saw was pretty much, kind of what happened. It was that kind of freaky for everybody else involved. But, of course they exaggerate, and that's fine. I got no issue with that. But they tell the story itself is about 90% accurate as to what
that's what I like about the show. Yeah, and actually what you just said is a great tip for anyone listening is, the fact that if you do start to experience stuff like that, exactly what you just said is it's a perfect tip to imagine, either positives or, like you said, white lights and anything positive as far as protection goes,
Right, and, there's stones and stuff you can carry for protection and stuff like that, which I do that now as well when I know I'm going on certain investigations. I have a few type of stones that I carry. that I keep in my pocket and just keep them with me, just in case.
Kevin and I
it's
about
it's all helpful.
Kevin, what did you and I get at the Paracon? Tourmaline?
Oh, what was it? Yeah, tourmaline.
Tourmaline.
Black tourmaline. That's
black tourmaline.
Black tourmaline is a great one. Yep, that's a great one to use for protection.
Yeah.
It also can help you open up too.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, it can help you with opening up your spiritual center, if you want to call it that.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And it provides protection at the same time. But I still use the white light, and I just draw on my belief system for that to make it stronger.
Right. That's
what I
exactly.
tell people. I don't care what your belief
yeah.
system is.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell people, doesn't matter what your belief system is, as long as you believe in something, doesn't matter what.
Right.
Use that if you're going to get into this to help protect you. So
exactly, I do it
good things to
before
know.
every investigation, personally, and sometimes we do it as a group thing. So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and I do it. Yeah, and I do it after too, because I don't want anything following me home. And,
we do the same thing.
Well, so.
We did it Saturday night when we were at the mansion that we go to. You're like, okay, everyone, you got to stay here. No one is allowed to come home with us.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to you guys' event too. It's in August, right? Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it is. Yep. And as per your suggestion, we got Steve Cole's on board today, so he's going to be there as well now.
Yeah.
So,
well, once Steve knew I was going, he's like, I'm going to go. I'm glad he finally got back in touch with you.
That's all right.
Steve's a great guy. he is. He's got a lot going on, and a lot happening, and I can tell you this because they posted it on Facebook. Him and Stacy are actually going to be getting married, so that's why I threw Stacy on there too. They're going to get married and stuff. So that's why I made sure I included her on that email to you. So it's like I'm going to put Stacy on there, or she'll get mad at me, So
that would explain why he doesn't want to share. That's why he doesn't want to share a room with you, Jack. He told me.
No, it's because I'll tell you the story behind that. Me and him had to share a room when we went to the midwinter one with in Rochester there with Ted. It was like, oh my God, we got to share a room. I'll never do that with you again. No, he's a good guy. But with Stacy going, he's not going to share a room with me. That's for sure. And I don't blame him. So.
I did want to, since you.
It's like when Kevin and I went to investigate the Naples hotel, and the whole hotel was empty. We had one room.
Yeah, it was just
everybody was questioning it.
You're like, just give us another room. There's nobody here. It's funny. Funny.
I know that speaking of the event, I actually want to tie this back to what you're going to be lecturing on, and essentially your topic is the importance of evidence review. In general, how important it is.
Yeah, investigating the paranormal, the importance.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So, and it's a very open. I'm going to ask you a very open-ended question here, but I'll give you a chance to explain however you want. For maybe new people that are listening, why is it so important to have such accurate evidence review? It might seem like an obvious question, but I'm not sure if it is to everybody.
Here's the real answer to that. So that when you go to your reveal, you don't look like a complete idiot. When you do your reveal, you want to make sure what you're presenting is real, or you can make sure it is. Yeah, you don't want to look like an idiot and go, oh, that was something in the closet, you mean? Oh, I didn't know.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's kind of an example I use when I do it.
Right. Sure.
There's investigations we've done in different places, and sometimes you catch something on camera and you go, "My God, that looks like an apparition stand. It really does. Looks like an apparition stand in there." And most people would just jump with that and say, "Look what we caught," and they tell the people.
Right. Exactly.
You may not remember what was in that part of the building that night or whatever, but they may know, and they may go, "Oh yeah, okay, all right." They won't say anything; it'd be nice to you, but they go, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right."
Right.
Sure. It's important to remember your reputation is on the line. So if you're serious about the stuff that we do, and you want to gain a good reputation, not even just with the clients or whoever you're doing investigations for, but within the field itself, you better make sure you're doing your due diligence to make sure what you're presenting is as real paranormal evidence as you can guarantee it is. And that's kind of a weird way to say that, I guess. But
no, it makes
we go to great lengths. We go to great lengths to make sure, even making a phone call back to a place and saying, hey, can you take pictures of this area as I want to see what's there? I won't tell them why. I'll just say, I couldn't remember what was there. Can you take some photos of that? And they'll send it back, and they send them to me. And it's like, okay, all right. Oh, okay, good. That's not what I thought it was. Okay, and, because you can get into matrixing, you can get into a lot of different things that can go on. Even audio evidence, I mean, you better make darn sure it was none of your people. You better be sharing that supposed EVP with everybody on that team. Just make sure somebody didn't happen to walk into that room right at a certain moment and then said something and nobody just didn't say, oh, so-and-so just walked in the room and they didn't tag it or something like that. You better make sure, And, I have another small program I can use that listens to formants of voices. You have different formants within your voice.
Sure.
And I can at least try to weed people out based on that if I absolutely need to. But I'm getting to the point now, or I've gotten to the point a long time ago where I usually can recognize everybody on our team's voice. If there's somebody else, I may run that just to see, okay, was it that other person that was there that night?
Yep.
Yeah, and what you do is when you're starting out that night, in order to use that type of software, you get a clear voice of everybody who's there. And what I say is, okay, here's who's investigating here tonight. Say your name, and I have them each speak. So they get a good, clear portion of their voice when they're speaking. And that helps with that program. It's kind of a forensic program. Yeah, it's kind of neat, and I share that with people and what that is. And I got that from somebody else who used to do a lot of investigating. So I learned it from other people. I don't just find little stuff on my own. But yes, it is important. Good evidence review is extremely important when you're doing this. I mean, that's what it's all about.
For
right?
sure.
I mean,
exactly.
Big portions of it is the evidence and what you're presenting is real. And so it's a big thing to focus. That's a big focus of my current lecture series that I do. Yeah.
Right. I want to send it over to Ray. I feel like we've kind of been leaving him out here talking about technical stuff. So I don't, and not maybe more of the abstract medium type stuff or anything else. So Ray, I'll toss it over to you for a second.
This actually isn't medium related, but going through your bio, Jack, I noticed your background. You have a lot of varying, just things you've been involved with. And I mentioned earlier, our backgrounds tend to be more in education. I see you have some experience. You're working with the U.S. Army, and I'm curious to know anything you've been able to bring over to the paranormal field from your experience with the Army, and maybe even vice versa.
Right. Well, my work is with the Department of the Army. Not as a soldier. I work in engineering. Who I work for, we design and develop weapon systems. Okay, and part of what I've always worked with over the years, most of the equipment we all work with in the paranormal field. We use recording systems for recording testing, and we use thermal imagers and stuff there to do certain tests with, check for certain things. And when we have problems with systems, so we'll look for the heat and stuff. So I've worked EMF detectors, so for the electronics. Are we having something weird going on? Is something, one electronic item causing interference with the computer that's in the system? So I've worked with all this stuff over the years. And I've also done a lot of work just in part-time businesses I've done for videography. When I used to videotape weddings and stuff like that. So I got a lot of experience with video and what weird things can happen when you're working with video. And, computer repair and computer training. So I've done training, with people myself as part-time things. I've also done some kind of teaching in a way with the field in the Department of the Army I work with having some training classes and stuff on certain things I dealt with. And then also running projects and programs, so I've had to put teams together and make those teams work efficiently, and everybody has, their abilities, right? Everybody has things they're good at and things they're not good at. So you put a team together based on that, So I've got all that kind of experience, and even as a hunter, fisherman, I don't do those things too much anymore because I got a bad back, but they all led me to where I am now. I mean, you think hunting. What's hunting got to do with paranormal investigating? Well, most of hunting is sitting and being patient.
Right.
Waiting, listening.
Strategy.
Listening a lot. Yes, strategy, but even just listening. I mean, you're sitting there in the woods and you're doing whatever, and you're deer hunting or bear hunting or whatever. You're listening for things. You're going to hear something long before you see it, but you want to know where it's going, where it's moving, what it sounds like. And as you spend years and years doing that, you can distinguish between a deer and a squirrel and a mouse, even moving under the dry leaves in the fall. I mean, so it makes you hear, makes you listen to all and that actually helps with reviewing audio because you start to pick up an ear for it. You're listening for certain things, and it's like, ooh, okay, that's an EVP. You get to know it after a while, like that's an EVP.
Sure.
I can tell by the tone of it and the way it sounds that it's not a normal human voice. It's a little bit different. Something's not right, but something's just different, And that's how you can start narrowing things down. So all these things, yes, led me. It's kind of weird how it all led me to where I am now. Well, over the course of my life, I've always had experiences, always had a great interest in the paranormal. I mean, when I was a kid, watching In Search Of, right, and all those other earlier shows. I mean, I mean that was it, and even just the horror movies and being in the ghost stuff, it's cool. So I mean, I hope that it kind of answers your question as to where it is. I went a little further, I think, but yes, what I do, the work I've done, definitely helps me with this. Yeah.
That's a great comparison with hunting and fishing. I never really thought of it in those terms. But you're exactly right. You're waiting. It can go hours and you get nothing.
You got to throw the bait out there and try to reel it in, and be patient, do it right, ask the right questions. If it's not working, try something else. It's the same way,
So how do other people? How do other people outside of the paranormal field, in the different, the different experiences you've had, different jobs, things like that? How do they generally respond or react to finding out that you're involved with the paranormal?
At work, where I work, I wasn't sure how it was all going to go over. Right? It really wasn't because.
And we've been there too. That's why I asked.
It's engineers and scientists. But this is a weird thing. I never asked them. I never really talked about it much, and except a couple friends of mine who really didn't say much to anybody else. But I found out some of them watch these shows, and they're like, "Hey, Jack, I just saw you on a show the other night." I'm like, you did? Yeah. Okay. All right. And they're like, "That was awesome." They're like, "That was awesome. I didn't know you did that." And then you find out how many are really just. They said, "Well, I had an experience when I was, this, and I had an experience with that."
They
all come out and they start talking to you. I have not had a negative experience with anybody I know at work. Who I know people at work who say, I don't believe in that stuff, but I think it's kind of cool that you're on TV, But I don't believe in that stuff. I'm like, it's okay.
Yes, we do.
But. Yeah, but they're cool about it, and they're people I know, so they don't, they say, it's interesting, it's cool, they're on TV.
Hey,
the funniest
Kevin.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Kevin and Ray, and to Jack, you were just talking about the quiet and the hunting and listening. It just made me think we do quite a few tours at the Barnes Mansion where you're going to be coming in August, and obviously when you have a tour of 10, 15 people from the public, you can't really do any real investigating, but we absolutely love the nights where like the three of us or maybe one other team member, we'll be like, all right, Saturday night, let's go up there for a few hours, and we love just being able to get back there just 2 or 3 of us, and everyone just, like you were saying, we all just sit very quiet and just, like you said, just do a lot of listening, and that's really cool to get back to. Yeah, so
sometimes that's what you got to do. Although I've been in the event type things where there's 10 or 15 people there, and all they do is sit and listen too. So it's like, somebody wants to say anything? Come on, yeah, I do that.
Somebody want to ask a question?
Yeah. No, I'll make them do it. I want to give them a chance to go. I want you to ask a question. Ask a question, and they're like, I don't know what to ask. I said, well,
we do the same thing.
If somebody was coming to talk to you, then I'm nice to them. Then I go, well, if somebody was to talk to you, what's a question you would want somebody to ask you?
There you go. Good.
And then the light bulb goes on, and they're like, well, what did you do for a living? There you go. What did you do for a living? Or what do you do for, There you go. Well, what are your interests, right? And that's how I try to teach people how to investigate.
Yeah, good suggestions. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah. You don't let them, and because people when they go to those things, they're not really sure what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd like to have something happen, and they don't know what to do. So you gotta. Right. I mean, you're there. I look at, from my perspective, is when us as investigators are holding events like that, part of what we should be doing is teaching these people what to do and the proper way to do it. And answering questions during it, and then see what happens. Because sometimes it's having conversations, you guys know, will bring activity. They don't always want to be the center of attention. They just want to join in on the conversation spirit. So we start getting that, and then suddenly we'll start getting activity, or we'll start getting, knocks or hits on a K2 or something like that. So I try to engage people. I try to keep people engaged and keep them talking,
Yeah, we do that too. We even, we'll even hand off some of, our K2 meters and our millimeters, not our expensive stuff, but we'll hand off some of our, not so expensive equipment, and we'll actually let people walk around with it, and then, so that they can experience, seeing changes or fluctuations or anything like that. So that's always good too.
Right. Yeah, and we do that too. I'll walk around with them, and say, okay, let's check this. Let's go over there. And you break them up into manageable groups and stuff. And if you tell them what to do, they will do it. And they can have a good time. They can learn a lot.
Exactly.
So that's how I kind of try to do it. So, are you guys doing an investigation that event? I can't remember.
We're not doing one that's associated with the event, but I can email you or message you about some stuff that might be going on at a different date.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
There's not one offered to the public.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
That's. I did have a kind of a general question for you, but it's one that we usually ask everybody that's on. But you may have a unique perspective because you have been on TV and are on TV. What's your biggest concern right now about the field of paranormal investigation? What do you see as kind of the biggest issue? And it doesn't have to be any specific names or specific people, just in general, what's your overriding concern right now about the field?
Well, from my own perspective of being on TV and people who contact me now because of that and stuff like that, it's not so much what's on TV anymore. I think, Nick Groff has his stuff he's doing, and everybody has their stuff they're doing. And it's kind of overloaded probably realistically, but there's some really good shows out there. And so that's not really the concern anymore.
Right.
You know what the real concern is the people that watch the shows think they can just start investigating. And they think they can do, I'm gonna do this in my house. I have people email me all the time with, I was doing this in my house, and now I got no, God, don't do that, please don't.
Right.
But they don't. Well,
I got a Ouija board out and I put it in my living room.
I just had a client that had that. Don't even go there. She got real lucky.
That's why I said it. We've gotten calls about that. Be like, we had a Ouija board session.
Yeah. I get that. We get that a lot too. But I mean, I have people I've got a digital recorder and I'm doing EVP sessions in my house to see what's here. I'm like, no, don't.
Yeah.
Because you may have had nothing in your house, but you may. People don't think about this, and I don't think some investigators really think about this. When you're doing sessions, you're doing EVP sessions, you can be drawing something in from someplace else. You don't know. I mean, using a K2 or using any device is not really too much different than using a Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking for something to come and speak to you.
Yeah, that's exactly the conversation I just had with some clients. You know, it's not necessarily the Ouija board itself. It's, you know, asking, getting that app on your phone. I don't care how well it works or not. You're inviting something in, and then they're surprised when and give us a call when something actually shows up. Well, the other big danger to that is people don't learn how to protect themselves before they try to go do this stuff. They have no clue of what to do. They're just looking for an experience. They think it's cool, and it is. Let's face it, except for evidence review. That's really boring, but what we do is, I admit, what we do is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of fun. It's fun, and you can have a good time with people and stuff. And we take our client investigations seriously and things like that. It's a different situation than going and investigating like the Hinsdale house or something like that. But if you're going to get into it, I tell people, if you're really going to get into it, before you start doing anything, go to some type of event or where there's lectures and you can ask questions and learn stuff from people who've been doing this for a while before you start trying to do it on your own. I mean, that's what we did. The Spirits of New England, we didn't do investigations right away just because we'd seen ghost hunters on TV. We went to their events. We met with those guys. You know, we learned from them. You know, went to the boot camps. We learned from other friends of ours, like my friends Katie and Becca up in New Hampshire, and you know, we learned from anybody we could talk to before we even did our first case. Yeah. And then even when we did our first case, we talked again to our friends Katie and Becca, who had been doing this for about 30 years already, and talked to them about helping us with that case. We didn't try to do it on our own. There's only so much we could do. We had the evidence. Now it's like, okay, now what? How do we really help this person? And so we asked Katie and Becca to come in. They did. They're like, yeah, we'd be happy to. And they started showing us this is what we do, and this is what you need to do. And you just keep learning and learning and learning. You know, and now we're at the point where we're teaching other people because we know at least enough that if people want to get started, here's how you want to do this. So we're starting to try to hold little events every year, lectures and stuff about that, and we'll open up for people to talk to us about it after, and who aren't, you know, on a team yet, or you know, they want to get into this. And funny thing was, one lecture we went to, we had 4 people talk to us after. It's like, yeah, we all really want to get on a team and start doing stuff. I said, there's 4 of you, right? Yeah. It looks like you have a team. Exactly. So you got your own team, you know. I said, but then again, the same thing. Just learn from others. Go to other things. Talk to other teams. But you
I'm
have
not
a
real
team.
good at math, but...
there's 4 of you. 2 can make a team. I mean, you got 2, and that's a team. You know, there's 4 of you. You like doing this stuff. Go do it. You know, you got places I know that you can go to. You know, and things like that. And we have a couple free lectures with and free investigations every year. So we do that people can come and go on an actual investigation and learn some stuff, and it's all free, you know. So I try to do that because, let's say, not everybody has money, so, you know, they got kids, they got this, they got that. So we try to, okay, well, here's something you can go to, and it's free. You know, you have a lecture, we'll talk about stuff, and then you can investigate with us. And we've investigated these places many times, so we know what's there. There's nothing dangerous there. And
that's
we
exactly,
can get and actually teach them some things, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly how the Barnes Mansion is for us. The Barnes Mansion, we've been there so many times, and, you know, we've connected with the energies there, and that's how we are when people come or whatever. We're you know, we're very comfortable, and, you know, like you were saying, we you know, we teach people, and you know, we invite them to explore, and most people that come there have a really good time with it.
Exactly, and that's to me, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
more of a fun question for you now, Jack. Where have you not been that you absolutely want to go to investigate?
Hinsdale House.
You could pick any place.
That's like a cheap answer, but it is a place I do really want to go. I haven't been to. There's not too many of the big places that I would like to go to. I don't know. I've seen so much of it, and I've talked to so many guys who've done these places. They'd be interesting to go to, but maybe they're on the bucket list. But I'm not overly concerned about going to the place I want to go that I haven't been to yet that I'm looking forward to going. My next client investigation. My next client investigation, wherever that is. Yep. Because to me, it's number one, it's never been done. Number two, I'm helping somebody with that. And to me, really, that's the two most important things. Helping the people is really what's important to me. It's what's become most important to me, And those are the most interesting because there's a lot of dynamics involved. The people themselves, are the dynamics, and it goes even beyond. That's one thing about working with people who are experiencing this stuff. I use client for lack of a better term because we don't get paid to do it, so not really a client. Right. But but you end up trying to help them with their lives because a lot of what is going on is because of things going on in their lives. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about what's going on. And I can sit there with them and they'll open up to you where they won't want to open up to anybody else, and they'll take legitimate advice from you when they didn't want to hear it before. Mm-hmm. Go talk to, you've got some issues obviously in your past you haven't dealt with, which negative energy is drawn to that. You need to go to talk to somebody. You really need to go see a professional and talk to them. I'll talk to you as much as I can, but I'm not a professional. I can only give you, what I think, But you really need to go talk to somebody and work those things out because you've dealt with it all your life. You don't need it running your life. You'll never have it out of your life, but you can come to terms with it and not let it ruin your life. You can move on from it. Right. You're never going to forget it. And that usually helps. When they start doing that, and then I see the changes that start happening, it's amazing. These people's lives turn around. And it's I feel great because, we helped, our team helped put them on the right track. And sometimes that's all people need. And then you can do the cleansings and you do that, with the houses and you cleanse that energy out and you can help get rid of the spirits and things like that. But after that, it's up to them what they're going to do next, and I like it when it starts turning around, and you see them getting better and you see them looking better and healthier and because there's just a lot of negativity they're dealing with, So that's what I'm looking forward to next is that one. Personally, that's my personal view on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
that's a fantastic answer.
House would be great. Yes.
You probably just ruined that question for everybody else that's going to be on the show now for the next couple of weeks. So good job.
Kenna saw that one, that bastard. Yeah, son of a gun. I'm going to use his answer though next time. That's right. Anybody else who heard that wants you to go ahead. You can use that answer. It's all right. I guess I own it now, but I didn't own it before.
Kevin asked the question next week, and somebody goes, "Well, you know what Jack said last week."
What Jack said. What Jack Kenna said. Whatever. Okay. All right. Yeah. But that is the truth of it. Seriously, that to me is the truth of it. That's the next one I look forward to. So, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
And it makes complete sense.
I tend to think of in a different way than most people, I guess. I do think in a different way than most people do. But that's okay. I've always liked being different. It's always
wrong with that.
For the most part. No,
absolutely.
Everybody's different. Yeah, we all have our own ways. But I always tell people, think outside the box when you're investigating this. Think outside the box.
Sure.
Yeah, and if somebody else, and don't be so rigid. I've seen teams so rigid that one person is running. It's like, no, this is the way we're going to do it, and this is the way we're going to ask our questions. That's it. Boy, you're missing out on a lot there, pal. You know, by
Right.
being that rigid with the people on your team, you could be getting great evidence, and you're throwing it away because you want to stick to a rigid regimen. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do it. You got to mix it up, you know, and see what happens. You know, so.
I think that helps with our team.
Oh no, I don't have any.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say I think that mixing it up helps with our team because even though, like, in a sense, we're all educators, our personalities are a little bit different, so we're able to, like, you know, throw a little bit of mix, a little humor, a little seriousness, and you know, and just have some fun when we investigate. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to have fun too. You got to, because you'll go crazy after about 4 hours of that. So, you know, you got to break it up and have a few laughs, you know. And we had some weird stuff happen with ours. I'm the only guy on our team, so I get some really weird things happening.
Oh, nice.
I find some interesting stuff on the audio a lot of times. Like, what?
I bet.
Yeah.
So does Kevin. Sorry, Kev. I apologize.
Well, I'll mess with them sometimes too. When an investigation is getting into like the 5th, 6th hour. Here's one I pulled on the girls one time. I was back at the monitors, watching the monitors, and they were off in the one part of the building doing an EVP session. I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm so bored. I said, I got to have some fun with something. So there's a long hallway with this one closet in it, right? And so we had 3 walkies, and somebody left their walkie back at base. So I took that 3rd one, and I put it into the closet. And then I'm waiting back at base camp. Now this is about 20 yards from base camp, so they're not going to hear me. So I'm watching the monitor, and I got a monitor watching that hallway, and I see him go through that hallway, and I go, pick up my walkie and go, and I did it to Ellen. I go, Ellen.
That's awesome.
What the hell was that? You know, you see them all stop on the monitor looking around. It was like, coming for you. yeah. And they just, and finally they're like, where the hell? And I start going, they're like, they open up the closet. It's going stuff in the closet. They open the closet. They see the red walkie. They go, Jack, you son of a bitch. I just laugh. You know, it's funny. It's funny. You got to pull stuff like that every so often, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great time. Yeah, it's a great time. But, you know, you still get good evidence and you still do stuff, but you got to have some fun. You got to mess with it.
Yeah, you have to.
While, you know. Yeah, you go crazy if you don't. So they get even with me later on, so it's all good. So.
Ray, I don't want to leave you out. Yeah, we only got about 4 minutes left. I'm going to have to wrap it up around 8:55-ish. So I was just, I know, but we only get an hour. It did, didn't it? Did you have anything else, Ray?
You got to get you.
Oh, thank you. That's.
Yeah, Ray. What do you got?
Know if there's, you got. I just didn't want to leave you out. I felt like I've been talking over you for a whole lot. And you kind of answered it, Jack, because Ray had started to bring it up, and I think we might have covered it. But your training as an engineer and your profession as an engineer and its compatibility with, for lack of a better word, a rational job versus an irrational hobby. If you want to call it a hobby. How do you, I guess Ray, Ray had mentioned how do other people react? How did you reconcile that yourself when you have a job that's so full of math and science and numbers and facts? Is it because of your experiences? Is that helped you kind of reconcile both of those?
I didn't even have to reconcile. I just saw them as they kind of went together. I mean, with what we do, you have kind of you have a faith type of thing, which I have my faith. I'm Roman Catholic, but I reach out to other faiths at times too. But I have my faith and I have my beliefs, and I know what I've experienced and I know what I believe. But I never really saw it as trying to, reconcile it. I saw it as a mesh. Like it
didn't have to be one or the other.
I'm doing with. No, I mean, not to me anyway. I mean, I know it can be for some people, but for me, I just don't look at things that way. I see it as, wow,
Right.
I know all this stuff, and I know how that can help me with doing this.
Yeah.
And I know how it can help me to take a step back when working with people who are experiencing stuff, because I'm a believer. I'm not going to say I'm a skeptical believer. I don't believe there is such thing. Personally, that's my own
Right.
belief. You either believe or
Right.
you don't believe,
Yeah.
But I
sure.
can be skeptical and be a believer, and
Yep.
and I think that's what most people mean by that. But I
Right.
can step back when talking to a client per se, and they'll tell me their experience, and I don't discredit them. I believe them to a point. But maybe I'm more like the doubting Thomas. Show me. Let me
Right,
get in
show-
there. Let
yep.
me see what's going on. Yeah, show.
Exactly.
Let me see for myself what this really is. I'm not going to tell you
Yep.
you've got a ghost. I can't. I haven't been there. I don't know. But, you
Right.
know,
Right.
I think you probably got something going on. And we have a 10-page form we have people fill out before we'll go investigate for them. So that narrows people down, too. Usually
Sure.
people who really want help and they really have something going on, I'll send them that 10-page form, and they'll have it filled out and back to me in 5
15
minutes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like boom right away, and it's back,
Yep.
and people who really don't, they go, well, okay, I'll get around to it. I'll get it to you in a couple of days. I never hear from them again.
Yeah. Never see it.
And
Yep.
I will follow
Absolutely.
up just in case. Yeah, I'll follow up just in case and go, do you still need help? And, well,
Sure.
we got somebody else. We're looking at it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, we're here if you need us,
Yep.
And then that's how you
Right.
weed people out, because those people,
Yeah.
what I think a lot of people like to do is just meet people from the paranormal. And they can think,
Yeah,
if
I
take us to
agree.
my house, they'll come out,
Right.
But
right.
when they got to fill that form out, they won't be bothered. That's work. That takes
That's
work
right.
to fill that out. So forget it.
Yep,
It's not worth my trouble.
Agree 100%
So-
with you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
And-
but that's
well,
that's the way it is. I have no problem with what I do and this. It just meshes together for me.
Excellent. I want to give you the last minute here that we have to kind of, if people are interested or need to get in touch with you, how can they do that? What's the best way for them to go about that?
All right. If you need help or if you have a question or anything like that, you can reach myself and my team, Spirits of New England, through our website, which is spiritsofnewengland.org. You can also find me on Facebook. Just put in Jack Kenna, and you will find me on Facebook. And you can, just message me through there or send a friend request or whatever. You can also email me at jack.kenna.paranormal@gmail.com. That's another way you can reach me too. So that's it. That's what I got for you.
Great. Well, I really do appreciate you coming on tonight. I can't believe how fast the hour went, honestly. So I had a ball. You're a great guy to talk to. We really look forward to having you at the convention.
Great. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking forward to being there, and if you ever want me back on the show, just ask. I'll come back. Sure.
Oh, we definitely will.
Sounds good. Great.
All
Thank
right,
you, Jack. Have a wonderful
night. Thank you
night.
again for having me, and you guys too. Have a good one.
You
Thanks
too.
a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was a great show back after, as we said at the beginning,
Yes.
a couple months off here. And, that hour flew by. Unbelievable.
It really did. I couldn't believe it. And, Jack has so much knowledge about things. If you're in the Syracuse area and you're able to attend our convention at the Barnes Mansion on August 12th, please try and do. Not only will Jack be speaking, but we have a ton of other great guest speakers there. It's $15 for the day. Come in, meet a bunch of people from TV, a bunch of teams from across the state. There's going to be psychics and mediums and regular vendors and free lectures all day, so it's going to be a great time. And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So with that, I think we will say goodnight. And
Yes.
we will we will be back on next Tuesday, and we hope everybody enjoyed the show, and it was definitely good to be back. So I'll be talking to you soon, Ray.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.